What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. I want to make you guys aware of something you may or may not know about in a lot of states that is now happening here, including Florida, Texas, California, and more states may be coming soon as this is now sweeping the country of insurance, car insurance, home insurance, flood insurance spiking up and even becoming unavailable as insurance is literally, you can see here, Florida and other states could soon become uninsurable. That's right, as insurance rates are spiking up out of control. And as you'll see here in a moment, I will show you a video and give you some details here. Insurance rates spiking. Some people are saying so high that they can't afford it. And even more going to be coming here soon. Some people have not quite even gotten the spike yet, as more going to be coming here soon. More and more insurance carriers are pulling out of multiple states or will be here soon. I'll show you some more details here. Florida insurance crisis explained why multiple insurance carriers are leaving the state. And you'll see here that more states are going to be happening here soon. And this is just the latest crisis coming to the United States, which is going to cause more inflation, mostly for home insurance and car insurance, well, and flood insurance as well. Yeah, Florida is no stranger to extreme weather events, a fact that those living in the Sunshine State have always factored in when insuring their home. But as climate change exacerbates, well, some people don't believe it exists. You can let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. The frequency and severity of events like droughts, floods, tornadoes, and hurricanes in the US, the reality is Floridians and insurers in the states are working with it's changing quickly. Florida, according to several experts and industries in the insurance industry, is becoming uninsurable. That's right. And other states, starting with California and even Texas, might soon follow suit and become uninsurable in the near future. Florida's perfect insurance storm. Some 15 major insurers, including Farmers, have announced their intention to abandon Florida over the last year. Well, take a listen here and let me know your thoughts.
68-year-old Tina Zaro has paid off her home in Lake Worth, Florida, and is living off Social Security. But her home insurance has skyrocketed by a whopping 130%.
It's very scary, but what do you do? It's crazy, just crazy.
Now, when her policy expires at the end of the year, she'll drop it because she says she can't afford it, leaving her family even more worried about the next hurricane.
Well, I want everything for my mom. Don't make me cry. I wish I could wave a magic wand and make it perfect.
The issue taking center stage over the weekend as former President Trump attacked Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Because you have the highest insurance in the nation.
Last week, Farmers Insurance said it would stop renewing almost a third of its policies in Florida, affecting about 100,000 customers. AAA also says it would not renew some policies.
It's a national problem, but we have seen no solutions to deal with inflation or interest rates out of Washington, D.C.
Jimmy Patronis is Florida's chief financial officer and a DeSantis ally. He blames the problem on what he calls woke insurance companies with liberal executives.
You believe that this has something to do with woke policies instead of a plain old-fashioned business decision?
100%. The woke policies that these corporations embrace are them not having their eye on that target.
Some insurers in other disaster-prone states like California and Louisiana have also pulled coverage. Analysts say there are several reasons: extreme weather linked to climate change, a soaring number of lawsuits by policyholders, and ongoing battles with state regulators.
We're going to have another legislative session next year. If we have to tweak things in order to make it more compatible and helpful for the Florida consumer, we'll do it.
The DeSantis administration is touting that another major insurer, State Farm, has recommitted to the state.
Florida is considered the worst because of the hurricane problem, which has accounted for tens of billions of dollars, maybe even hundreds of billions of dollars if you add up the totals. Take a look here. A lot of this started in the 90s when Hurricane Andrew made landfall in southeast Florida. That was a real wake up to the insurance industry about the level of catastrophic exposure they had in the state. Hurricane Andrew caused somewhere between 16 and 20 billion dollars in insured losses in 1992 alone. 7 major storms between 2004 and 2005 caused $35 billion again. Another wake-up call for insurers about how frequent storms can cause a lot of problems. But it's not just climate change that has led to the current crisis in the Sunshine State, said Nice. Florida has a fraud problem. It represents 7% of the U.S. homeowners insurance market. Yet Florida represents 75% of all litigation coming out of homeowners. Wow. These two problems have existed for years, he added, but since 2016, the number of storms hitting Florida has increased. This is when the market started going into the crisis we're in. In 2022, we have had 6 insurance companies go insolvent. Yeah, so I mean, whatever you want to call that, blame it on whatever, these insurance companies are going bankrupt. While the state is making legislative efforts to solve Florida's insurance problem, Florida still has the hurricane problem as well. Insurance companies are private enterprises. They're in business to make money and stay in business. For them to make decisions, it's all about risk and reward. And they decided that there was too much risk relative to the reward that they receive in Florida. Insured losses in the U.S. have averaged a 6% annual rate of growth, above the rate of inflation since 2000, according to data from Gallagher, an insurance broker. The country averaged 23 billion in annual insured losses during the 90s, but has now skyrocketed to an average of $70 billion per year in the last decade alone, 2013 to 2022. Every major peril has shown consistent loss growth in the last 2 decades, according to the broker. The combination of climate change influence and exposure growth are both notable factors in the direct physical damage and broader societal impacts being experienced throughout all 50 states. Quote, there are new modeling techniques and things like that they can invest in. But then, on the other hand, in a catastrophic event, there could be a lot of correlated losses for them, which means that a lot of the properties that they insure can simultaneously generate damage and insurance claims. That is easier said than done. In order to prepare for those events, they need to build up their capital reserves so that they can handle all these claims at once, billions of dollars. And that is financially very hard to do, and it's very costly for them. That is how states like Florida, California, and Texas can become almost uninsurable, especially because their population, and they would need billions of dollars to be able to handle large populations and big events like that. Wildfires, hurricanes, sea levels rising, those kinds of risks are generally considered less insurable. In the current market, insurers may have options and room to operate it, but increasing levels of catastrophic events is definitely a threat. Insurers are already retreating from offering coverage in the areas most at risk of experiencing extreme weather events from dire consequences of homeowners. And really, this is just the latest blow for average, everyday, low and middle income Americans, because this is one more expense with inflation already high that people can't bear. You see car insurance go up, you see home insurance go up, renter's insurance go up, and yeah, it's just getting out of control. And, from a business perspective, you can't really blame the insurance companies. They're going out of business trying to cover this stuff. It's just economics, and what can be done? I mean, 6 major insurance companies have gone out of business, so it's not like they're going buck wild. Like Scrooge McDuck. Was that Scrooge McDuck who used to jump into the gold pile from that old cartoon? Doesn't seem like that's the case. Like some of the oil and gas industry and some of those companies. I mean, these companies are, at least some of them, are going out of business. So when they're paying out tens of billions of dollars in insurance claims and going out of business, it doesn't seem like that case to me. Now, granted, I haven't really looked into their profit and balance sheets from all the different companies and stuff, but granted, that would take days. Feel free to do that if you want to, but this just seems like a tough situation for all the parties involved. Yeah, it's a nightmare. And we're having these fires in California. Look at Canada. An absolute nightmare. I mean, some of those fires are still going on now and have been for the whole summer. And I mean, we've seen some of the effects in the United States, and we're like hundreds of thousands of miles away. Imagine what Canadians are dealing with up there, actually in the fire zone. What an absolute nightmare. What an absolute nightmare. Yeah, and I mean, that'll be the next thing. They won't insure Canada because of the wildfires. They won't insure California because of the wildfires. Yeah, where do you go from here? Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here on everything going forward here. If you haven't yet, click the subscribe button down below and the bell icon so you don't miss out on any new videos. Thanks for liking and sharing these videos. Click here to see what Walmart, Target, and Kroger are doing, a massive change. Or click here to see what Vladimir Putin is doing, is absolutely terrifying. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.